Have you ever seen a mother who wakes up and shaves her daughter's head first thing in the morning and then takes out a mirror and praises her for being the most beautiful woman ever? The girl's name is Joy. She can walk, but her mother keeps her in a wheelchair for years. She can eat and drink like a normal person, but her mother puts a tube in her body and injects food into her stomach through the tube, even when she sleeps. Joy is put on a breathing machine. Her mother had lied to Joey since she was a child, telling her that she had leukemia, was allergic to sugar, and that she had to undergo specialized treatment every day. But Joey's mother did this because she didn't want to go out and make money. So she made her daughter a very sick person and herself a good mother in order to gain sympathy from the community and get donations from people who cared about her. Until that night, Joey sneaked into the living room while her mother slept, opened the refrigerator and took out a bottle of cream and squeezed a little bit into her hand. After a moment's hesitation, Joey ate it. Then she stood still and waited for 10 minutes and then realized that her body hadn't changed at all. She realized that she wasn't allergic to sugar. So she secretly drank happy water and ate desserts every night while her mother slept, and over time she had problems with her teeth. Her mother looked at them and found that all of them were rotting, and she immediately took her to the hospital. The doctor said that it was the result of eating too many sweets, but Joey's mother strongly disagreed because her daughter had not eaten from the mouth for 10 years. But as the doctor examined her further, he found that Joey was able to chew her food and didn't need to use a tube to eat. Hearing this, Joey's mom immediately changed the subject and said that she had forgotten to turn off the gas at home and pushed Joey out of the hospital. After they left, the doctor reviewed all of Joey's medical records and decided that Joey's mother was a possible child abuser. So she called the Child Protective Services. The staff immediately rushed to Joey's home and Joey's mother in order to avoid the discovery of her secret, so she forcibly fed 2 sleeping pills to Joey and then invited the staff to come in and talk to Joey alone when Joey was already delirious and could not communicate with the staff and did not get any useful clues, so they hurriedly left. At this point, Joey's mother also realized that her daughter's teeth were rotten, must have eaten sweets. So the next day she took Joey to the hospital, said that they were pulling out a decayed tooth. But the doctor gave her a general anesthesia, and when Joey reacted to it, it was already too late. When she woke up, she was already back home and could only cry in front of the mirror, while Joey's mom was very happy because half an hour earlier she had received an email from a charity organization inviting Joey's mom to bring her daughter to a party in the evening. Knowing the truth, Joey pulled the tube out of her body and said she didn't want to go. This was the first time she rebelled against her mom, but her mom said she had to go to the gala. It took her a few days of bloodshed to apply for the opportunity, so she had to go. The evening after the party, on stage, Joey's mother and Joey put on exquisite makeup and even prepared her false braces to wear after Joey finally showed a smile. After they went on stage, the mother and daughter received a donation from a charity and they performed a song for the crowd. The next day, Joey's mom received a call from a doctor who offered to change Joey's tubes for free. Joey's mom thought, that's a good thing. So she brought Joey to the hospital immediately. The doctor asked the nurse to take Joey's mom to fill out the paperwork. And in the meantime, the doctor took out a bottle of happy water and handed it to Joey. She wanted to prove that Joey wasn't allergic to sugar. Joey understood what the doctor meant, and after hesitating for 3 seconds, she refused the doctor's offer and said, "My mom needs me." After Joey said that, Joey's mom reacted and rushed over to the doctor, who also took away the bottle of drink. That night, Joey's mother took Joey to attend the Comic-Con, where the two of them wandered around separately. Joey met a Paul Wolverine. Paul's humorous personality allowed the two of them to quickly talk to each other. They fell in love with each other at first sight, and Joey also felt the taste of love, but at that moment Joey's mother came over to interrupt the progress of the two of them. After returning home, Joey waited for his mother to fall asleep and secretly hid a wad of money from her, waiting for the next day when he and his mother went out. Joey took advantage of his mother's car wash to sneak out and buy a cell phone at a nearby store. Joey sent Paul a message every day, and the two of them faced each other on their cell phones every day, sending thoughts of each other. The next day, Joey received a delivery of his favorite red hair, and opened it to find that it was his favorite red hair. Joey immediately put it on, and looked at himself in the mirror, and thought he was beautiful. But in the evening, Paul sent a message to Joey that he had been hit by a car and was now in the hospital, and his cell phone was about to turn off. Worried about Paul, Joey took the wig Paul gave her to the hospital while her mother was asleep and managed to find Paul. Then Joey followed Paul to her home and said she would take care of Paul until he recovered. On the other hand, Joey's mom woke up in the middle of the night to find Joey not at home, but found an envelope left by Joey in the living room. Joey said he was in love and wanted to leave the house. Then Joey's mom called a friend's number and got Paul's home address at Comic-Con. Just as the two were about to go further, Joey's mom knocked on the door, and then Paul opened the door. Joey's mom played the emotional card, and Joey finally chose to follow her back home. When they got home, Joey's mom tore off his wig and sat in the wheelchair, pretending to be disabled. Then Joey's mom pushed Joey back to the house, which was like a prison building for Joey. In order to be exposed to the outside world, Joey would take a few from her mother's wallet every night while she slept and save them until she had enough money to buy a laptop secretly behind her mother's back. And then she put on a black wig and continued to pretend to be disabled. When she got back, she put on a black wig and dressed herself up briefly, then uploaded the beautiful photos she had taken to the social media platform, registered her account information and posted her first match. As a result, it did not take long for Joey to receive a large number of mail invitations. Joey randomly selected an Edison and through the other party's friend request, and the two began to chat online mode. After a few days of chatting, The two became more and more familiar with each other. From the beginning of the text chat slowly turned to video chatting. Even when they knew that Joy was in a wheelchair, David did not dislike each other in the slightest, but encouraged her to live a good life. Joey was very touched and cried to him about all the things she had been abused by her mother. And David, who had learned that Joy was in a wheelchair, David did not dislike each other in the slightest, but encouraged her to live a good life. Joey was very touched and cried to him about all the things she had been abused by her mother. And David, who had learned the truth, did not break up with her, but instead proposed to meet her. The next morning, Joey's mother came to Joey's room to see the computer on the floor. Joey's mother, without saying a word, will be the gas smashed. The loud sound of Joey directly woke up when she followed the sound of the living room to see her mother is crazy knocking their own computer. Then her mother forced her into the room and tried to tie Joey to the bed, just as she was about to leave the house after taking off her mother's restraints. Her mother's cries of pain came from behind her, and Joey chose to compromise once again. Since the mother and daughter have been at loggerheads, her mother offers to take Joey out to the movies in an effort to ease their relationship. Joey was very happy because she knew that this was the best opportunity for her boyfriend and herself to meet. So she bought David a blue t-shirt and hoped that on the day of the movie he would wait for himself at the entrance of the cinema wearing the clothes he had bought and open the door for himself and his mother to show the feeling of the first time they met and create a gentlemanly style so as to gain his mother's favor, so that they could get together as a matter of course. But on the day of the movie, David was too nervous to organize his words in the restroom. So Joey arrived at the cinema door but did not find David. Joey had to buy drinks to stall for time. But David came back in time and the two smiled happily. David excitedly went to say hello, but Joey's mom thought David was mistaken and pushed Joey away. The two of them arrived at the movie theater, but it wasn't long before David followed them in and sat behind Joey. Joey's mom turned around and noticed that David was very strange, so she got up and pushed Joey towards the inside of the movie and sat down in the other corner. However, in less than 2 minutes, David quietly sat behind Joey again, and Joey's mom, noticing the situation, scolded David and then pushed Joey to another part of the movie again. Joey's mother's words made David feel very humiliated, so he left the theater without looking back. Joey was very worried, so she told her mother that she wanted to go to the bathroom, and then followed her. In front of the restroom, she saw the man she had been longing to meet. Although it was a very short time, they still had a short date in the restroom, but Joey's mother didn't notice. Luckily, Joey's mom didn't notice and David was there to open the door for her when the movie was over. Joey's mother rejected David's offer and called him a stalker, then left the theater with Joey without looking back, leaving David alone in front of the theater. When David returned to the theater, he sent Joey a text message saying he was ready to talk to Joey's mother about their relationship. Joey thought that David was just saying that, but the next moment, Joey's mom received a call from David and told her that she and Joey were in love. Joey's mother was very angry. She hung up the phone slowly and went to another room and called Joey in and tied her to the bed with a rope as a punishment for Joey. The whole process was done without the slightest argument, and it seemed that this was not the first time that Joey had been tied to the bed. At this point, Joey had a new idea in mind. So a few nights later, Joey sent a text message to David asking him if he would kill her mother. The next morning, David took a bus to Joey's house and waited until the evening when Joey received a text from David. Joy opened the door to David's room and guided her to her mother's room, where she screamed for help. And then the two of them took a cab and left to stay at a motel on the side of the road. The next day, they bought the earliest tickets and left on a bus to David's house. After a 4-hour bus ride, Joey arrived at David's house. Luckily, David's parents loved each other and gave them a room to themselves. I thought life could go on like this, but Joey remembered that her mother's body was still in the house in order to let people find her mother's body, so she went online and logged into her mother's social media account and posted, "I killed this old pig," and took good care of her daughter who couldn't get out of bed not long after she sent it out. The neighbors who had seen the news came to the house to check it out and called the police at the same time. The police went in to check the house and saw only Joey's mother, who had died a horrible death but didn't have any other body. They didn't find Joey. On the other hand,